Hey Crossing families, it's Pastor Heidi here with this month's tip. As parents, we tend to think the busier we are, the more we're doing for our families and in particular our kids. Parenting in this generation seems to be defined by an unrealistic pace. And if we're not intentional with how many things we try to fit into our families' lives, each family member can become burned out, disappointed, and discontent. Thankfully, there's a remedy. Breathing room. Breathing room, or margin, is the space between our current pace of life and our maxed out pace of life, and we need to slow our current pace to create more margin in our lives. With margin, we're in a much better place mentally, emotionally, relationally, and yes, spiritually. And building on our discussion from last month in Family Takeover, the margin in your days and weeks can allow you the time to be fully present in the moments you do have with your family. Now, many of the reasons why we find ourselves in short supply of breathing room is due to fear. These fears center around the fear of missing out, the fear of falling behind, the fear of not mattering, and the fear of disappointing other people. Every season and situation is different. However, one of these fears is likely the culprit of having a lack of time and energy for the things you really want to do. FOMO, or fear of missing out, is anxiety and worry that something exciting will happen and you won't be a part of it. Have you ever felt this way? If you're suffering from and stressing over the fear of missing out, not just on events, but on discovering yours and your kids' passions through busyness, here are some verses to read and share with your family. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. There is a set time when God will release everything He promised you. Don't grow weary while you wait on your unique harvest. You won't miss out on anything He has planned for you. Psalm 34, verses 9 and 10. Oh, fear the Lord, you His saints, for those who fear Him have no lack. The young lions suffer want and hunger, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. At the heart of FOMO is a fear of missing good. At the heart of our gospel is a God who has sent His only Son so that He could buy for us the great and precious promise that fully crushes the root of FOMO. In Him, we have every scrap of good. Luke 12, verse 32. Don't be afraid of missing out. You are my greatest friends. The Father wants to give you the very kingdom itself. Comparison to other parents and families can feed the lie that someone else has more opportunities and special moments than we do because of all the activities they're engaged in. God values rest and intentionality for quality time with Him and your family. He wants to give you every good thing according to His plan. So, how do we get breathing room? How do we make room for the things that truly matter? At the heart of breathing room is rest. With today's pace of life, rest can seem like a pipe dream, right? We know it exists, but maybe not for us. But everything positive stems from rest or Sabbath, and we have to recharge and refuel ourselves if we're going to be more gentle, more kind, and overall better humans and parents to our kids. Deuteronomy 5, verses 12 through 15 reminds us that the Sabbath is to be kept holy as commanded by God, and God knows what is best. So here are some very simple action steps you can take to begin getting more breathing room in you and your family's lives. First, remember, a no for now doesn't mean a no for always. Different seasons of parenting take different amounts of energy. For new parents, adjusting to this new role, setting aside some of the things you love can be tough. Just remind yourself that this season is temporary. You will have the margin to do those things again. For parents and caregivers in other seasons, parenting requires different levels of energy, but the same commitment to renew and refocus on what matters most. Second, prioritize what matters most to you. Take a look at your calendar. Is it filled with things you want to do? Is the majority of your time being spent with the people who matter most? If not, start removing things that aren't high on your priority list and replace them with the non-negotiables. Your calendar really will tell you if you are truly prioritizing what you say matters to you. God, health, and family are some of the top things your calendar should confirm as important to you. Next, have conversations. Talk to your family members and outline what is important to your family. These are the things that should have your best energy and focus. Read the verses listed above about the fears that keep us overcommitted and discuss them as a family so they understand the why behind building margin into your lives. And lastly, make a Sabbath non-negotiable for you and your family. Helping your whole family prioritize God's command to have a day of rest, well, that will last for generations. Find a day that works for all of you, or find specific days that work for each of you, but help your family develop the habit of taking a day of rest from the world, from extracurricular activities, and yes, even from serving. I'd love to hear back from you on how many hours you were able to shave off from your calendar to increase your margin, increase your quality time with the Father and your family. Thanks for listening to Tips from your Next Gen team and Parent Cue. See you next time.